Welcome to the latest edition of Millennial Boom with Diane Faith and Stanley Roberts, where almost no subject is off limits. Now, here are your hosts, Boomer Diane Faith and Millennial at Heart, Stanley Roberts.
There you go.
Hi, guys.
Oh, I didn't turn the mic on yet.
Oh, yeah, you did. It's right there. Happy
Happy
day.
You
I don't know. Well, I was going to say Sunday, but then you were like, oh, you're going to date it.
You sure are happy.
I'm happy you're here.
Whatever.
You bring me
Hello.
so much joy, Beeb.
Joy for your liquids, for your dishes. Joy for the
What's
dishes.
up, guys? How's it going?
How's everybody doing today? Okay, we can't hear you, but you can hear us.
If you're joining us on YouTube, don't forget to give us one thumb up. I always say thumbs up, but it's just a thumb.
And if you have no thumbs, then just use your index finger and push thumbs up.
Gabriel says Stanley's always trying to fool you with the mic. I know. Man, whether or not you're cutting me off or you're saying we haven't started yet or you're saying we're on but we're really not,
If
like,
I'm going to be labeled the bad guy, at least I should live up to that,
no, you're not
Say hello to the bad guy.
you're not the bad guy.
Oh, some people think.
What is this? I'm here at the beginning. What? Anon, you're early.
Oh, my God.
You know why? I wonder if it's because we're starting a little late because I just got home
You gotta go to church.
I went to church, so I just
Get
got
saved.
home 10 minutes ago.
Get saved.
So that's why we're a little late. But aren't we kind of like always a little late every Sunday? So, I mean,
She came in and had like little singes on her jacket. Had to put it out. I'm like, you're still on fire.
Gabriel says, Anon, you probably meant to write here, but it's funny if you read it as here, given what Stanley tried to do with the mic.
Ooh,
wow.
Gabriel digging in with the...
Gabriel
Hello,
already starting with the corrections.
Hello, Gabriel.
Hi, Gabriel.
So, two things first. Up in the very beginning, and we'll mention it again, there's a little support this stream, little button down the bottom. You can go there, and it goes straight to a Venmo account as opposed to waiting for Facebook or Twitter to decide if we should have it or not, or whoever it is. And we were gone last week. We did an overnight stay in Santa Cruz for an event we had to attend.
Yeah, we did.
Which is kind of strange because it felt
I
like
feel
we
like
were
we were
gone.
on a lot longer.
We were literally gone less than 24 hours, but it feels like we were gone a whole lot less.
Yeah.
Hey, love your hair in that last photo you guys. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we made a little reel there on the spot. Blah 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 blah.
God bless America says, hello guys, it's always good to eat dinner while watching the bad guy Stanley and Angel Diane. How ironic is that, God bless America? Because Angel is one of my nicknames. I did not choose that nickname, nor will I say who calls me that, but that is one of my nicknames.
Yeah,
so
give your mom credit for that?
What was I gonna say? My mom calls me that.
I didn't
but
say
thank
that.
you. You just said it.
Yeah,
My mom calls me Angel. I don't know why she does, but she does. I think she thinks I'm an angel.
Because you're Angelica too.
Okay, are we just gonna say all my nicknames now?
Well, I can say one more, but you might not want to.
Let's not. Thanks. Anon says that correction didn't take long. Was wondering how long it would take someone to correct it. Laugh out loud. To be honest, I didn't even actually notice it.
Well, if you're relying on Gabriel to correct you, then it'll be.
It'll be instant. Yeah.
And
Maria,
if you see more people starting to join, we want to say hello and don't forget to check our new stream down here. Support the stream. Your donations keep this going. It's right there. Click it. See where it goes. Blah blah blah. God bless America. Welcome with the smiley face.
Wait, Maria, are you cold?
I think she's saying smile was being cold.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, okay.
Okay, what?
She's cold and she's smiling.
Fair enough.
I hope you're not too cold, Maria. She said just cold.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. How you like this rain again?
Well.
How you like all that snow that everybody got but us?
Oh yeah, even LA got snow.
Well,
actually, Los Gatos got snow.
No, but that's still not. That's South Bay.
Yeah, we didn't really get any snow over here, but I'm okay with that though because people can't drive here in the rain or without the rain as is. So if you add snow into it.
I think if God wanted to play a really good trick on the Bay Area, he'd make it snow in San Francisco. Now that would be crazy.
You talking about like San Francisco proper?
And I know people are going to be like, oh, they had snow before, so it's not like it's a first time. What I'm saying is snow in the level of 3 to 4 feet of snow.
Oh, God.
Can you imagine if San Francisco got 3 feet of snow
in
this day and age?
No, because there'd be car crashes galore.
Car crashes?
I mean, people wouldn't be able to drive.
They can't drive now.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's why I
No,
said,
but I mean those hills. Trying to drive it down a hill.
oh no, just stay home. Stay home. -3 Celsius. Had a bit of snow yesterday. Okay, Maria, because the United States likes to be different and only uses Fahrenheit. I don't know what I'm gonna have to just Google it right now. So
Fahrenheit, 3 degrees Celsius. That means it's around 26 degrees Fahrenheit.
Are you sure?
No, but I'm taking a guess at it.
26.6.
Ah,
Good.
what did I say?
You said 26.
Yes.
So 26.6. Okay. Yeah, that sounds like it's
So
cold.
we Americans don't use Celsius because that makes our brains hurt.
We just don't use the metric system.
We were supposed to, but we never got around to it. Cleveland's supposed to get a foot of snow.
Cleveland's. Oh, you're reading that.
Go ahead.
No, read it.
Cleveland is supposed to get close to a foot of snow at the end of this week. It figures after getting hardly any snow in February, they'll get hit by the big one in March.
Ooh.
Don't like being hit by the big one.
Man, all I know is I'm okay without snow. Oh, Gabriel's giving us the equation. Multiply by 9/5, then add 32 to convert C to F. Multiply by 9/5.
Nah, yeah.
Okay, well now I'm gonna have to bust out a calculator because I, need to practice to be able to do that in my head.
Calculate by 9/5. You sure it's what that is?
Multiply by 9/5.
By 9 to the 5th power?
No, 9 to the 5th power would be 9 with a small 5 at the top.
I know. I just
Nine. That's 9. Like that's a fraction. It looks like 9.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so let's test that.
No, we're
No,
not
no.
going.
I wanna see it. You talk while I do temperature conversions.
Yeah, but why'd you put her down this rabbit hole?
So -3 times 9.
She's doing the math now in her calculator.
How do I do a?
She can't even do it. Let's move on.
How do I do
Just
a?
use an app. Says go. Do what I gotta do.
No, how do you do a 9?
Hey,
No. We're not calling her because she pops up in our conversations when we don't need her to. Okay, so let's see. -3. I know it looks funny that I'm doing this, but I'm trying to figure out how to do fractions on. So I guess I'll just have to do 9 divided by 5 plus 32. Oh, that came out. Okay. Oh, Gabriel goes 9/5 equals 1.8 in case that helps. Yes, that helps tremendously because what I got 26.6, just FYI. But what I did was I did the -3 and then I times it by 9 divided by 5 because it's the same thing and then you add 32. But thanks for letting me know it's 1.8. So I'll do that next time.
So can I ask you a question?
So I'm going to multiply the Celsius by 1.8 and then add 32. That makes it so much easier.
Yeah, sure.
I'm excited. I love equations.
Why is it when I say B, how much is? I don't do math.
Because it's because you always ask me how to add something, subtract, multiply, divide, and then you also ask me to correct your grammar. How do I spell things?
I said, what is 12 times, 360? Oh, you math.
It's too numbers are too big. No, it's literally because you ask me every single thing like I'm some sort of dictionary, calculator, thesaurus. So I get tired of you asking me, so I just say stop asking. All right, anyways. Okay, so Anon says it's better to find relative temps such as 0, 32, 100. Yeah, that makes sense. It's, when you throw in a negative. But that's okay. With the calculator, I can do all things.
All right. Now we got this whole Celsius thing. Let's go with the subject at hand. When did I become the bad guy?
Wait, hold on. Betty Veronica says Dateline, 60 Minutes, or Millennial Boom. Betty Veronica, the reason that not the reason, but the fact that you even put that in the chat,
Wait,
I'm hurt.
Let me do Dateline. Diane Faith was just a normal person until she got caught up in shenanigans.
That's Dateline.
I don't know. That's all.
Well, 60 Minutes is. Can you?
And this.
Wait, my finger.
This is the next 60
with
minutes.
the clock.
Diane Faith.
Oh, I'm mad that God Bless America said Dateline. Thanks a lot for the support.
Wow.
You know what? I was going to say you can DVR both of those and then watch us, but then
They can watch those.
they can watch those and watch us later too. So let me not put any of that out there, even though I just did. Gabriel, in a whisper so that Santa doesn't hear. Diane, how much longer is on? Oh, well, I guess I didn't whisper that.
No, he's read my thing. It says secret probation on Twitter
Oh yeah, oh
that I
yeah,
wrote myself
yeah. That you're not actually on
on
probation, because
probation.
if you're reading that, you would get that. Yeah.
Right, that's a
Explain
joke.
explain that one.
So my subtitle says I'm on secret probation, and and before it said for stuff I haven't even made up yet, and it's just kind of a joke with the timeline how if you make changes to your Twitter, they take your check mark away. If you change your picture or you change your main picture, they take away your check mark until they can determine that you're not trying to pull some shenanigans. But they don't. But you can write whatever you want in your timeline. I could be right. Oops, I dropped another one, and that'll be the timeline.
Oops, I dropped another one.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say, "Oops, I did it again."
Yeah. Well, yes, we do want to talk about JB too,
Oh yeah, I know he's missing.
and there is more to his missing story than what you've been reading a little bit. If you have been paying attention, so JV is suffering from Lyme's disease, and Lyme's disease causes mental issues, and I guess I wouldn't say schizophrenia. That would be a bad choice of words. It's more like mental, and some people become suicidal when they get Lyme's disease. That's why they tell you to be careful if you get Lyme's disease, because there are side effects to it that most people don't know exist. They think you get a tick bite and you get a rash, and then you go about the rash, but it does affect your mental capacity. And so at this present time, um, I've talked to some of his friends who told me stuff that leads me to believe that because I couldn't figure out why he was in at risk. And it turns out that he had an episode a year back, which it's funny, and I mentioned this to Diane today, and we can talk about this for a second. Is that as human beings, we tend to take people with mental health issues lightly, or we tend to take people with mental issues to a point where we don't want anyone else to know that someone's having mental issues because it's been so stigmatized as being really negative.
Yeah.
So people hide the fact that they have mental issues, or people will suppress it in the family until something really bad happens, and then everything spills out. But by then, people have already drawn their own conclusions. Am I saying that if you have mental issues, you should put it out in the streets? I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that keep in mind that the sooner you get help, the better sometimes. And they even have a 988 number now.
That's for the suicide hotline.
If that's an issue. But the problem we're having nowadays, and even with law enforcement, now I'll speak on that directly because I have a lot of family members that are law enforcement, is that they can't come forward and say they're having mental issues. Because the minute they say I'm having a mental breakdown or something that's not right with me mentally, they take away everything that they've ever worked for, which doesn't fix the problem. And I get it.
Well, because it makes it seem like they're incapable of doing their job
Right.
if they are going through something mentally.
Right. So mental issues as a whole has a stigma that is so negative and so destructive to the people who actually have it that and all jokes aside, it becomes an actual rabbit hole. So as it relates to JV, I hope they find him.
I do too.
JV has a special place in my heart because when I was doing my segments, he was always support. He supported me. He supported other people who I know who were trying to break into the business and pushed them into the business, and they become huge success. And that's important too. So everything aside, and I read some really negative comments, which doesn't help the situation.
Well, it makes it hard because if you are going through like something mentally and you put it out there and you bring fully transparent because you want other people to see your story, you want other people to feel comfortable for them to be open about being transparent, but then it comes back or it backfires, and then you're seen as, people start talking about you and using it against you. That's really wrong. I will say I don't know JV personally, but I listened to him on the radio when I was living here in the Bay Area, and I loved him as a DJ. I think he's very talented. He's funny, and I think think that when people are going through things mentally, and I will say this, I super appreciate, because I've seen people on social media, including some of my friends, that have been very transparent in their journey in their mental health, whether it's being open about them finally going to therapy, them sharing what their therapy resources are, how it's impacted them from doing it for like a year plus. Like, when you see people that are very transparent about those things, it really helps those that are less likely to talk about it publicly to finally talk about it publicly. So I truly support when someone can be open about it. I
Hey, John.
really, really hate though when it's used against them and then like it backfires, because I think that at this point we should all really be supportive. We've seen a lot of people in the public eye go through stuff, and we're wondering, man, what caused them to commit suicide, or what caused them to hurt someone or hurt themselves. And like, I think we should really be past that point of like using it against people for some weird, I don't know how that ever became okay, but like, it should be something we need to support people in, and I don't understand how that is not
So,
normal, I guess, is
so,
my whole
y-
point.
so,
Sorry for the rant.
so put them in your prayers, or if you put your, if you see something, if you think you've seen them somewhere, report it. If we can get them help, we can. If it's not too late, I pray it's not.
Yeah,
But
me too.
unfortunately, we live in a world where things happen, and one way we can keep them happening or to try to prevent them is to help each other. So if you can help him or anybody else, and hey, John, thanks for joining. We're talking about JB,
What's up,
and
V
he's been
John?
missing. What do I call it? Yeah.
Oh, it's John, but he's well
Right.
on Twitch. He's V
So,
John, I think.
so that's important that we don't ostracize people with mental issues. We try to get them help. Now, keep in mind they may not want help, but at least you can try,
Yeah.
and that's all you can do is try to help. So I appreciate that, and it's important that we remember that we keep him in our prayers, and every day I'm hoping that I get up and there's some good news. And also, so going back to, so what I was going to talk about before we got into that was, um, when did I become the bad guy? And I'll say this, and I'm not giving the guy who started this morning a platform by any way, shape, or form. I'm not even going to mention his name. However, some random, somebody gave me accolades for Black History Month and being an African American or black journalist. And of course, someone came on there and decided to throw salt on it, because that's what people do. They like to throw salt on things, and then they want to start a discussion, a one-sided discussion. I want to say this. I'm using the word discussion, which is actually not really a good choice of words, because discussion would imply that it's something amicable, and it's not. It's just someone throwing salt who makes up things that in their mind. And all I said was, it's fine. I responded to him with a quote tweet, and I said, if you can prove to me where and here's where it gets. Here's where, let me make sure I get it right, because I don't want to say it wrong. It's important that we as, hold on, I'm going back a little bit. Oh yeah, so the person wrote, salute to the brother who made a living from filming. Okay, we don't use film, but all right, we'll go with that. Humiliating, which I don't do, and degrading people, which also I don't do. So now remember, he used the words humiliating, degrading, and filming people. And the film part, I'm just joking about, we don't use film anymore. We haven't in 100 years. But the point I'm trying to make was, I asked him, I said, do me a favor, produce video evidence of what you accuse me of doing. I'm willing to bet you actually don't have any actual evidence. In fact, I know you don't. And the key words here are, again, humiliating and degrading people. So what he's saying is that I go out there purposely to humiliate people, but then when he starts, when I call him for evidence that he could ever produce, he switches it and says, well, you film people in their lowest moments. Again, he used the word film. We don't film. So there was no evidence he could produce other than just trying to, I don't know if it's slander or libel my name, slander my name just because he had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And
He didn't give any examples. He just kept insisting that is what he does. And then when people on Twitter came to like basically defend him, including myself, then he was calling us supporters and saying that we're basically just all the same and that he stands by his word. And you're entitled to your own opinion. I think that everyone should have their own opinion. The problem is that when you decide to go on social media and say it as fact and make it sound like that this person in actuality is doing these things when that's your opinion, and that could hurt someone's reputation depending on how it goes, hurt someone's reputation, hurt someone in general, or make you look like the bad guy. And I don't agree with that. And I will never, never stand for someone talking about someone they don't know and spreading words that are actually not true. I can't stand for that.
So when you use words like, harassing and accusatory words, humiliating and degrading, that is the farthest thing from what I ever do when I do these segments. So then he came back and said, oh, well, you film people and it makes a digital record. Well, then don't do stupid stuff.
Well, and that's what I said. You can't think that it's okay to break the law or not follow the rules and then get filmed and think that you have the right to not be filmed. If you're doing all this stuff in public, like, you don't really have a choice at that point. You're in the wrong.
Well, I mean, there are cameras everywhere in the world right now. There are cameras everywhere. But the issue is that they don't want me to have a camera.
Yeah.
Because they don't want me to tell the truth. And I always believe in, here's something you don't know when I do these segments. 95% of the video I shoot, I never use. Because number one, I can't prove 100% reasonable doubt that they did what I think they did, or that they did it, and how do I prove it to them? Number two, a lot of times I'll ask people, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to talk to you. And they'll say no, and I'll say, what, it's okay. I don't really need you to tell me what I already saw. And if you're doing something, and I had a guy once who literally walked up to me and said, oh, I know who you are. You're that behaving badly guy. And, you're not going to catch me because, and I go, well, what are you doing? Well, I sell bus passes, but you're never going to catch me doing it because I'm not dumb enough to get caught you doing it.
Well, he's dumb enough to tell you, though.
He tells me that he sells illegal transfers. This was back when transfers were a thing.
Wait, transfers aren't a thing anymore?
I don't think so. So I think everything now is just, you get the ride bus for free, and then every now and then you can scan your card. That's why.
I don't know.
So he literally said, you'll never catch me. But he told me what he did wrong and what he does wrong. He even told me where he does it at. And here's the funniest part about most of the people that I catch. It's because their friends snitch them out. They will call me and say, oh, I can tell you something, but don't tell nobody. The guy that I caught on the one that worked for the city that was riding around in the big back truck.
Oh,
yeah.
2007.
Right.
Yeah.
That dude was ratted out by his friends. His friends called me and said, hey, I got a guy who never does a thing in work. If you follow him, you'll see he does nothing.
That's true. And he
And
followed
so
him and
him.
he did nothing. So basically he showed what the guy was doing. I don't understand how that is being biased because this guy also claimed that he's
Amy Wang.
Yeah.
She got snitched up her own employees saying that she was abusing the carpool system. I decided to follow Amy Wang around, and sure enough, she was abusing the carpool system. And then told me that she's not the only one doing it. So she wanted to dry snitch on everybody else. And then she realized she was on camera. So then everything, she shut her mouth. And I'll say this, and I've always said it. If you know you're doing something stupid, you have the right to remain silent. Please take that right and use it. You have the right to remain silent.
You know who else had the right to remain silent and just keep it moving? Pop Music says, my favorite episode was a motorcyclist behaving badly near the Golden Gate Bridge. He definitely had the right to remain silent. He had the right to just drive off as though nothing ever happened. Never saw his face, nothing.
So that was an accidental story.
But he still put himself on blast.
Do you understand what an accidental story is?
Yeah, because you were there doing something else, weren't you?
I was there for a totally different reason. And dude decided that he wanted to come in. Wait, he not only did he drove past and go the wrong way, he parked 50 yards away. Now, if you play football, 50 yards is pretty far. And ran across 2 lanes of active roadway, took his helmet off, stood in front of me, and told me to take the camera out his face.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I'm saying. Is the guy had he could have just kept it moving. That's what I'm saying.
Hello, Frieza. Yeah, hello, everybody who just joined us. Yeah, we're talking about everything right now. If you just joined us, you have to go back and watch. We were talking about JV. And so go back to the story before we get too far, because I get off course just reading the comments sometimes. To even make matters worse, So he's worried about my camera, and there were 5 cameras over at the Golden Gate Bridge toll plaza that were looking at him as well.
Yeah.
And they called the CHP because I didn't even pick up my phone.
Mm-hmm.
CHP showed up, and they're like, "What's going on?"
Didn't he have a suspended license?
He had suspended license and no registration for the motorcycle. So his motorcycle went to jail.
Well, he could have just kept on riding.
And he worked for the government. He lost his job. Now you would think that.
And
Wait,
okay,
you
go
would
ahead.
think that if you did everything wrong, and you just messed up,
Yeah.
you would take that as a teachable episode.
Yeah, totally.
Exactly 1 year later, while I'm sitting at my desk, my phone rings. It was the same guy. He called me to tell me to go F myself. And I said, I can't do that because if I could, I would never leave the house. I literally said that to him, my exact words.
I cannot with that
Wait,
phrase.
what do you want me to say to him?
I cannot with that phrase. I can't. I cannot.
And yes, JV is the guy who arranged the phone interview between Stanley and Elmo Shirt Guy. Yes, yes, Gabriel, you're absolutely right. Now, he is the guy, and I feel bad because when that happened, I was supposed to go onto the set and do an interview with them live on the radio. But then at the same exact time, I got a phone call from 2020 who said, we want to fly you to New York City overnight and interview you about, take a red-eye flight and interview about what happened with this guy. Now, I was like, radio or 2020? National.
Yeah, the decision to make.
And it was like, radio? Oh, or 2020? Oh.
Did you really look like that? Because I don't remember that face when you were making that decision.
That was a face in my head.
That was what your brain was going
like,
through.
2020, this is my chance. And so I went to 2020, and JV was a little upset because I was in New York. But I said we can do a phoner, and we did a phoner from New York. And I forget the 3-hour difference, so I did the interview with 2020 early in the morning, and the phoner after that. And the Elmo guy just yelled. That's all he did was yell. The whole time.
That's the only thing he was good at, was yelling.
So that was, and then I flew back the same day, and then had to take you for your birthday. So it was, yeah.
And you took me to Thanglong. Thank you.
Yes.
I know you were really tired.
Yeah.
No, you had a lot going on,
Yeah.
but I appreciate it.
Some other favorites were a guy who we caught on his cell phone. First of all, he called me and said, "Oh yeah, people are always leaving a big space between cars, and it drives me crazy." So I had him show me what he's talking about, and sure enough, there were big spaces. Fair enough.
When he was driving or
he was
parking?
saying how, like you drive and there's a car and it's like 200 cars.
Yeah.
We did the story. It was cool. The story was great. People were like, my doctor, my driver told me that I should always do that. Okay, fine. Then we do a story on cell phones in Burlingame. And we catch this guy on his cell phone in Burlingame. And it turns out to be the exact same guy who drives snitched on all the other drivers. He goes, oh.
What?
I've caught the same speeders. Or my favorites are catching people on the Bay Bridge when they were toll evaders. They would evade toll on the exact same day and on the same week. And they got caught both times. I'm like, didn't I just talk to you last week? Yeah, but what?
They're out there behaving badly. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, what do you want? Like, I'm saying, what do you want? Like, you're out there behaving badly and you're willing to do it again and again. Like,
but
I don't feel sorry for you. You get caught, that's your bad.
But let's go backwards for a second. Let's just forget everything be equal. The thing that got me the most wasn't even the fact that I was catching people doing stuff. I started to notice a change in California drivers when I would go and stand on an intersection to catch people on their cell phones. And they would assume, because I was standing there, that I must be homeless. So therefore, I'm not someone they have to worry about. So you literally would stand there and be on their phones playing Tetris.
I'm sorry. Homeless with a big camera?
Okay, I don't want to say all they can do is with a black guy standing there, because then that makes it sound like it's racist.
Well,
I'm just saying that I'm standing there with
a big camera?
Camera's not that big.
What did they think it
well,
was?
No, I had this. Well, okay, one guy called CHP and said I was holding another cop hostage with a gun. So, but that's not the point. The point is that they were so I was so invisible to them because they assumed that if I'm staying on there, that I must be a homeless dude trying to get money. So they didn't want to make eye contact, because the minute you make eye contact, you got to give me something. There was no sign. I wouldn't hold up a sign. And then I had this one lady, she was playing Tetris. and I'm sitting there recording her play Tetris on her phone.
Well, she's driving.
No, she's at the light.
Oh,
She's
and
playing,
she's like, but
right,
she's behind the driver.
right off the 8th Street off ramp or whatever.
Okay.
9th Street off ramp.
And she's a driver.
She's driving.
Okay.
That's what I'm looking at. The person who I look at is a driver, and there she is playing the game. And so the light is long because it's it's 5-way whatever blah blah blah. And so I tap on the window, and I said hi. Oh, you didn't notice me? I'm like 5'11", 250 pounds. You didn't notice me? And she goes, I said, were you on your phone? She goes, no. Oh, what were you doing? Oh, I was looking at a map. I'm like, well, I didn't know the map looked like the shape of Tetris. Now, this is all on camera. Or the one I always tell you about, it's been the one to my heart forever, was the lady who got caught, unlike the Elmo shirt guy, she gets caught in the carpool lane by herself. And I asked her, she's getting a ticket, and I said, why were you in the carpool lane by yourself? Didn't you not see the 12 signs that tell you that there was carpool? Her response was, and I told you 100 times, what was her response?
Oh gosh.
She said...
No, she says she doesn't read signs.
She said, if I read signs, I might crash.
Yeah, she doesn't read signs because she might crash. Okay.
If I read signs, I might crash. And
so does that mean she doesn't read stop signs?
No, she just doesn't read... No, I had my grandma Florence, my step-grandma Florence, drove like blinders. She would, if you weren't in her direct line of vision, you were run over.
Why did
because
she have a driver's license? Does she not have peripheral vision?
Some people just don't have the sense God gave a camel to look around when they're driving. The lady yesterday we saw in front of us, you know how they tell you to move over?
Yeah.
If you're in a slow lane?
Yeah. So we were on one yesterday, and it's one lane going one direction, one lane coming back. And then every now and then you have the opportunity to pass. And there was this lady, we had like, I think 3 opportunities to pass, but we could not pass because the lady did not follow directions. There's clearly a sign that says slower traffic, stay in the right lane. And she was slow, but she kept staying in the left lane. So we couldn't pass.
And I can't pass on the left.
Yeah, no,
and
you
so
couldn't pass.
I flash. I can't pass.
You couldn't pass on the right because those drivers were the slow. Right. They were where they were supposed to be.
So I flashed my high beams. Like, could you move over?
She did not move.
She didn't move. And
he doesn't honk. So.
And then when I finally was able to get around her, all of a sudden she had to go. She was in a rush now.
Yeah, she would speed up, and we're like, gosh, these people, like, I mean, whether it's intentional or not, I'm like, people really play games on the road. Like, just follow the rules. You'll make it easier for everyone, and we'll get home safely at the end of our destination.
If you're too scared to drive, then you know what? Get a bus. I'll buy you a bus pass.
Well, you know what? Patrice makes a good point. She says there are nervous drivers. A lot of people are scared, and I understand. I got in a crash 3 years ago. A guy ran his stop sign, and I got T-boned. And I think one of the things is if you're if you're not ready to get behind the wheel and you're scared, try not to drive then. Because if you can find another means of transportation, do that. Because I know for me, when I wasn't ready to drive, because again, I understand you can be scared. He drove me, or I found other ways of transportation until I absolutely knew I was ready to get back out there. And when you're ready to get back out there, start off slow. Don't take the route where you got the crash in. Go somewhere else, because it is mental too. It's like you're physically driving, but you have to mentally be ready to get back in the car and take a route.
I always tell you, I say this, you should, if you ever watch a fighter pilot when he flies a F-18 or F-16 or F-whatever, Hornet, they're like this. They're looking all around. Even though they're in the middle of the sky and there's probably nothing around for 100 miles, but they're always looking around. I know I don't want you to look up at the sky because clearly you're not going to have a car flying over top of you. But if you're going to get behind the wheel of a 4,000-pound plus vehicle, then constantly look around you, look in your mirrors, look everything. Look to the left, look to the right, look in front, look behind you.
And really look at that blind spot when you are changing lanes. I can't tell you how many times I often do not see people look at their blind spots before changing lanes. Side view mirrors, not enough. Okay. Look at the blind spot.
Pause for 1 second. Okay. So look, guys, I know you guys are here. We have people here watching all over. So if you look, there's a support this stream. We fixed the QRL code. Scan it, take a look at it. And if you want to participate, Don't forget to give thumbs up. We have Super Chat if you're on Facebook. No. Super Chat is
on YouTube. Yeah.
YouTube at Super Chat. Please join. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Mr. Badley TV. If you look at Mr. Badley TV, you'll find me all over the place.
You'll find at Mr. Badley TV.
Oh, so so blind spots are another thing that's important. People don't look at their blind spots when they're driving. Last week Stanley ended the feed saying all my stickers and donations were canceled. I see the dollar changed to my account. We're getting that. Well, here's the deal with YouTube. So YouTube holds on to any donations until they feel fit to send it to you. And if they choose to tell you that, you did something wrong, then they may hold that money and hold it over you until you do something right. I don't know. We saw it there, we haven't received it yet, and we don't get it instantly. Now, if you want to do it instantly, then you can use the QR code and it goes to Venmo. But I do appreciate that you're making donations, and I was kidding about you about it not getting it. I was just saying it. What if?
Well, it was weird though because we did see the things disappear, but at the same time, I think we're both not used to seeing we're not used to how it works. So
the donations of the size you were giving us.
Yeah.
So we were used to getting like my nephew would give me like 50 stars.
But I don't know how I personally don't even know how it actually works.
They wait till it accrues to a certain amount and then they send it to you.
But when I saw it disappear was what I mean. I wasn't sure that it actually again, I don't know how it works.
So I think everything's fine. We're just trying to do. My phone doesn't take QR code, but that just might be the fact that my phone is kind of old. Yeah, so if you're going to do the QR code, you have to use your camera, and just go to the camera, hold it up, and you'll see a thing pop up.
A link.
And if you have Chrome, use Chrome to do it, either Chrome or Safari.
Whatever browser your phone has.
And it's funny because it actually shows me who scanned it, and right now only one person scanned it, and that was you when you were testing it.
Oh, I thought that was. That's from earlier.
Yeah, so it shows you if someone scanned it. Even if they don't send something, it shows me that one person. It doesn't show me who scanned it.
So Betty says maybe the queue got full, so it goes back to 0 to make more. Oh, she's talking about the amount.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
This is all new to us. What's up, Wuhan Fried Bat?
Wow, what a name! I was about to not read that one because I was like, ooh, that's the name. That's the name. I'm gonna just call you Bat.
I'm gonna call you Fried.
I'll just call you Bat.
Anyway, so now back to what I was talking about before. So our main focus was being the bad guy, and I was talking about the series of what we've been doing over the years. And then someone asked a question I saw it and I didn't answer it yet. Is when was the pinnacle? When was the high point of me doing the show? Mm-hmm. And I have to say the high point for me didn't start off as a high point. It started off as a simple, illegal dumping story that proves to me that even a legal dumping story can turn into something huge. And that was the time when I was over in Oakland, and there was a guy digging in the garbage, and I never talk to people or interview them because I don't, they sometimes are caught up in whatever they're doing and they don't want to be.
Yeah, they don't want to be disturbed.
So I don't like people digging through trash. I don't normally go and talk to them. So I kind of think I was sent to him in a way. I don't want to say divinely sent to him, but it was interesting. I walk up to this guy and I say, hey, what are you doing? And he goes, oh, I'm just looking for stuff. I said, well, anything you ever found in here? He goes, yeah, I found money. I found, I said, wait a minute, how did you find? He goes, oh, I found $800 once. And of course, he goes, $800? I go, $800? What'd you do with $800? He goes, oh, I brought stuff to make music. And I go, but yet, I'm thinking to myself, but he's digging in the trash, but he's what's going on here?
Yeah, like he's a musician.
And I said, what did you do? He goes, well, I used to play in, a long time ago, I played in the Carlos Santana blues band. And I go, Carlos Santana blues band? He didn't say Carlos. He just said Santana blues band. And I'm having that moment like, I never heard of the blues band before. Mm-hmm. So it was new to me, and I still didn't get it. And so I was like, well, it was a pleasure talking to you. He goes, well, it's nice talking to you too. And then I go back to the office and I put the story together. And normally I'm told to, if it's not part of the story, don't use it.
Okay.
But I did it anyway. Mm-hmm. I put it in there and they let it get through. No one said, no, we can't use this.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So I did the story. And it was like another illegal dumping story to me. That's all it was. It was a legal dumping story. And I didn't connect any dots of it being the magnitude that it would come into. And let me explain to you the magnitude, because you guys seen a lot. And you've seen TV, but you didn't see. Hello, what's up, Neil?
Yeah, William Marcus Malone. Yep.
Yeah. So
That's who Stanley's talking about, Marcus Malone.
so it's interesting because I do the story, and right after I do the story, it airs, and no one cares. It's like another story, and I go on for the next one. And I'm sitting at my desk a few days later, and there's somebody from the front desk, and Simon desk. They go, "Hey, there's uh, Carlos Santana's on the phone, and he wants to talk to you." And I'm like, "Really?" Right? Well, it turned out not to be Carlos Santana. It was
His manager?
his assistant.
Oh, assistant.
He goes, "Hi, this is such and such, and the story you did about the guy." And I'm thinking, "Oh, God, I got it wrong." They go, "Well, Carlos had been trying to look for him for years, and apparently you found him. And so Carlos wants to know, can we meet up so that we can go back and see where you met him at?" He asked me where he met him at. I said, "Well, it's hard to explain, but I can take you there." And so we decided to set up and meet.
That was
But-
the reunion one,
But no,
right?
it
Not
wasn't
yet?
the reunion yet,
Oh,
because
okay.
I went before I met up with Carlos.
Okay.
I went early in the morning, and I didn't know where to find Marcus. He never told me where he lived.
Did he even tell you his name at that
Didn't
point?
even tell me no, he did say his name was Marcus.
Okay.
And he never, and he never told me anything of value. I didn't know where he lived. He was just a guy living running through the garbage. So I know, growing up in the black neighborhood, that if you've done something of value in your whole life, you will cling to that. Even if your friends don't believe you, you will cling to it. So all you had to do was start asking people. And I went to a block nearby where I saw the illegal dumping, and I asked him. I interviewed a guy who was digging through the trash, and he claimed he used to be in a band. And they go, "Oh, you're talking about Marcus? Yeah, he always has these stories about him being in a band. No one ever believes him. It's just, but, I mean, I know who he is because it's all he talks about. And he lives in that camper around the corner."
That was like the best time of
And
his
so-
life, probably.
And so I went around the corner and found the van. It was a camper. It was an abandoned camper that he was living in. I knocked on his door. He wasn't there. Now, if you look at the video, you'll see my business card in the door. And I said, "Hey, I will be back here at 3 o'clock. Please be home." I wrote down the back of the card. Please be home. I went all the way from West Oakland, drove all the way to Sausalito, where I met Carlos at a restaurant. In Sausalito, we met there. And he had a bodyguard. And they followed me back over there. And then we parked. And I wasn't sure if he was home. I didn't know anything. I didn't know he was going to come out the door. And I just did the drop off, and I decided I'm going to stay here and record it. And then that's when it became the big reunion. And there was so many factors involved in it. I didn't know anything that was going to happen. Excuse me. I was talking to make my mouth dry. So anyway, that goes on. And that's when the reunion happened. And that one was the biggest story of my life, because we were going to go on vacation. We went to Disneyland.
That was 2013?
And my phone at Disneyland would not stop ringing. It was every single TV and radio station in the country was calling my cell phone. And you told me to turn my phone off.
Well, because every single time we hung out, this is also when we were long distance, so we didn't see each other every day. And so, like, every time when we finally got together, I just wanted to, enjoy him without distractions.
But we ended up in CNN, Inside Edition.
And I was living in LA at the time, so you went to Inside Edition and CNN in LA. Yeah.
And a bunch of other places.
Yeah.
And then we did phoners. And it was like, okay, so this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So I did all this stuff on my own time. I didn't get paid for it. Although I was constantly being called by the station and say, "Hey, such and such want to talk to you, such and such want to talk to you. Can you do this interview?" And I said, "Sure, whatever, I'll do it." And so when I got back home to the station, I said, "Hey, my whole vacation was end up doing interviews for you guys. So can I put in for the time?" And they told me no. I cannot put in for the time. That I was on my own and I can't get paid for it. So I never got paid for it. It's fine. Whatever it is, what it is. As a matter of fact, going backwards, remember the story of the Elmo shirt guy?
Yeah.
I got wrote up for that one. Because I didn't mention Kron enough in the story, although they didn't pay me to be there.
I'm like I said, nothing comes good from that place. The only thing that came good from that place was us meeting.
Yes. And so also there's stuff like the episode of me, Cheesesteak Yummy. That was actually Barry Backroads. Thang Long.
Oh gosh.
Philly cheesesteaks.
So good. Oh, from on what do you call it? Check Please?
Yeah. No, not Check Please.
No, not Check Please?
No, it was Barry Backroads.
Oh gosh, I don't think I've seen the Bay Area
No.
Backroads
Oh,
episodes of
that
you.
was great. I love that one.
Bay Area Backroads.
And you know what really made me really super famous was Barry Backroads. Not Barry Backroads. Was Check Please. Like, hey, I know you. And I thought, oh, from Pew Baby Bentley, right? He goes, no, you were in Check Please. You're there for 15 years. Just
Man, and it was the episode was from 2007, and was it 2007?
Yeah.
And man, Beeb,
I still look good.
you looking like a snack. Just saying, looking like
Anyway.
a snack. Okay. Love you.
Anyway, that's everything being equal. So I really enjoyed doing the show. I didn't like being micromanaged.
Mm-hmm.
I was also told that they were never going to promote the segment because it wasn't worth promoting until another guy came in and they hired a new guy who thought it was a great idea to promote what we do. So they made that big giant cutout of me and started giving away iPads, mini iPads, if you took a picture with it.
You have the cutout, right?
I gave it to the biggest one to my daughter.
Oh,
There
that's
are two
right,
of
to
them.
Brooke. Yeah.
One's
Where's
still
the other one?
One's still at the station, and my oldest daughter has it.
Oh gosh, the other one's still at the station.
And I worked in Arizona for 4 years, and I probably would have still been there had it not been for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But COVID, and the company was sold, so I can't really say what happened because they were running out of money. They were losing money hand over fist. COVID came. They made costs. They cut me, and we parted ways amicable. It wasn't like, hey, you messed up. Nobody likes your stuff. It was very popular, and I still have a lot of fans from Arizona now that stick with me, and I appreciate that. And I always appreciate.
We missed a few comments.
I know we
too.
missed a lot of comments. Sorry.
Wait, Gabriel had one that said, speaking of Oakland, I saw on the news that some guy was at LAX airport and wanted to take a flight to Oakland, but got confused Oakland with Auckland and ended up in Australia.
That's impossible.
Oh, you know what that reminds me of? You know what that reminds me of? Do you remember that Full House episode?
No.
Okay, there was a Full House episode where Michelle and Stephanie, if you guys are Full House fans, raise the roof, where Michelle and Stephanie got on a plane heading to Auckland, New Zealand, and instead, though, they thought they were just going to Oakland, which is, because I think Stephanie was like, why would we get on a plane to go to Oakland? It's just like 5 minutes away or whatever. I can't remember what she said. And they got on the plane and they ended up, and the plane was going to Auckland, New Zealand.
So I just put JB on a timeout because of a
Who?
comment he just made. I don't know who he is, new guy on YouTube. He calls himself JB, and he wrote something that, I take offense to. So I put him on timeout. Anyway, so.
I didn't even see that comment.
Oh, I saw it, and I just put him on timeout. So.
Wow. Okay. Well, what a hater. Oh, I see. I saw it here.
Yeah. And I hate that phrase, by the way.
Okay. Well.
Because it's such a crappy phrase for anybody. Hand purple blue peas. Okay, I don't know what that is. But
Betty Veronica crap 4. Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, you know me. I'm not one to pass any kind of. What did you read?
Freak. I like my beard just like my violence.
Domestic.
Wow.
Perhaps a famous incident occurred in 1985 when the wrong way Mike ended up in Auckland, New Zealand instead of Oakland, California. Yeah, it could be. It's funny though how I remember once I was working for CBS News, and I got on the plane with my carry-on, and the one flight attendant said, "Put your baggage right here." Well, another one said, "Don't we have to check it," and then the other one said, "No, we'll put it right here." Well, then the one that said we have to check it got upset with me and checked it for me, but checked it and sent it to, instead of LAX, she sent it to another city. So my luggage went somewhere else.
And where were you going? You were supposed to go to LA from here?
No, I was flying from, I was doing a story. Oops, what story was it? That's not very important. So, I do remember the moral of the story with a guy we talked about it earlier, the moral of the story. That was I love that story as well.
Lord Friesel was the one that was saying crap 4.
Oh, you look to get it
That's
wrong.
funny. No, actually, because I
How long
didn't.
have you been in TV in general?
I
I've been in
didn't see
TV
his
since
original comment.
1990. I started in Salinas, California. And ironically, I've been doing ride-along since 1990. Highway Patrol was my first one that I wasn't doing on TV. And I wasn't on TV. I was cameraman. I was behind the scenes. I didn't become in front of the camera until Kron decided to make the new program called VJs, where they made me become basically a POV, point of view photographer. And I suggested the idea of doing people behaving badly because I just thought it was something that was needed, and I still think it's something that's needed. But it's changed. The world has changed. There's a whole lot more people behaving badly than it used to be.
The world has changed.
And but then there are people that applaud the bad behavior, and applaud it for saying that it's something that it's not. And people are getting victimized, and people are like, well, they shouldn't have this or shouldn't have that. That's not a world we need to be in. It's never going to be a world that we need to victimize people and think it's okay. It's never okay.
I know.
Never okay. So, yeah. So well, now it's very cool. Now, are you at a station there in Cali right now? First of all, where are you located, Gabriel?
Gabrielle.
Gabrielle. And no, I am trying to. That's why we doing this stuff. Created Mr. Badly TV, and we're trying to do some other work that allows me to still do some ride-alongs and do other work. And we created, I created a new nonprofit. I haven't set up the account yet, but Mr. Badly TV is a nonprofit that will be using some of the funds to basically, I want to create a foundation for people to teach them television, people who want to learn, who want to learn, but also want to do some government contracts require you to be a nonprofit. So I want to take the ability to take those resources and use them to do what I do best. Teach people as educational. So I want to turn it into an educational tool. And it's funny because people take the name Behaving Badly and automatically assume that because I point my camera at someone, that person's behaving badly. It's not necessarily true. If that was the case, then we wouldn't have the stories that we've had that created change. And we've created a lot of change. And I think that's important that we make change. And the irony of the change was when I went to Arizona and I came back, people were blaming me for things being the way they were in San Francisco.
Because it got really bad.
Yeah. Thank you, David.
Oh, thank you, David. Oh, what is that drink that's coming out as you did it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't see it on mine. Oh, it's coffee. Yes. Thank you, David, for the $4. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you
He
very
says,
much.
let's try an odd amount to track $4 if you guys are not getting my donations. I want to know where they are going. Those dollars were meant to support this channel and get you In-N-Out burgers. Oh, I like In-N-Out burgers.
To be fair with you, we went back afterwards and we looked and we showed it in the queue. All of them were there.
Yeah, all of them were in the queue.
All of them queue.
But
But YouTube requires it to be built up to a certain amount.
Yeah, before they pay you out.
Yeah.
Each one does that. Instagram does that too. Like Instagram requires a certain amount before they pay you out. When you work for like affiliates, like as an affiliate for companies, they require a certain amount for you to earn before they pay you out. So
and here's why they do this. It's not because they wanted this or that. Because every time they get money and they keep it in the bank, the longer they keep it in the bank, they make interest off that money. So even though you think, oh, well, I got money, it's just like the same way banks do. Banks make their money off the interest off the money. So that's why when you want your money, it takes 3 or 4 days to get it. The amount is supposed to be somewhere, it could be anywhere from 100 to 5. He asked what amount.
Oh, for that they pay out? Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know.
They seem to have their own. And I haven't, I got a $40 Facebook payment the other day. But I haven't got anything from YouTube, which comes in as Google.
Oh.
So it comes in as Google. And so I have to wait till something pops in and see what it says. Now, it could be if you posted $50 on one day and $50 on the next week, that could be 2 separate payment periods.
Mm-hmm.
So then they wait as it goes along. It doesn't all come at one time. So in other words, when you post it, it doesn't come to us directly. So we can't go to In-N-Out Burger and go buy a burger right away. We can't. And I haven't received anything from Google since the very first time you posted something. So once it's stored and it'll pay out.
No, so he says, so it's stored
Yeah.
and it'll pay out once when.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so basically I think that's how it works because I know that when I signed up to do something like with a company, you get to, I don't know, I don't think it's the same with YouTube, but you get to choose what you want your payout to be, and I think the minimum is like $50. Then once you receive that, they pay you out at the top of each month. But every company, every medium is different though.
So let me redress. So I guess JB's timeout is over. So JB, welcome number one. And what's this stream about? Well, first of all, you jumped on and you started using names which we don't accept on here at all. And it's a podcast called Millennial Boom. She's a millennial in real life. I'm a boomer because of our birthdays. But because my ability to be technically savvy, I'm the actual millennial and she's a boomer because she's not
That's correct.
as savvy. So
I'm not that bad, but I'm just not that good.
yeah. So yeah, there we go. So we don't know. Other than that, we don't accept name calling. And even if you think that what you used was just, I know you may think it's constructive criticism, but it's not. And I work very closely with law enforcement, but what you wrote was just inappropriate, and not acceptable. So I will investigate at this as I have posted. You guys yeah, you have, and we haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure at some point it will show up. As a matter of fact, why don't you talk and I'm going to take a look at it real quick. And he's on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it was on YouTube.
Yeah.
William says we can send donations to your PayPal. They only take 3%. Can we pay you via PayPal?
Yes, you can. And PayPal is, hold on, I'll tell you what the PayPal is. Hold on, stay with me. Stay with me.
And JB says, thanks for taking my swipe.
My swipe?
I'm just reading the
No,
comments.
swipe means, his comment.
God Bless America says, hey, we have 19 people with us.
Yeah, we had 25 for a minute.
Yeah, numbers tend to fluctuate, as people go in, it goes in and out. Let me see. Did I miss any other comments?
So, how do we do this? Because I don't even know.
Gabriel says, I love the way Restream interpreted that animation in the sticker. Oh, I missed it. What was the interpretation?
Oh, it just gives it its own little thing for it.
It did it write out something? Because it can't do the actual picture. Radar says, do you use Cash App?
We do, and there's a bunch of different names. I mean, we have Cash App, but let me go back here for a minute. So I'm going to post this. This is PayPal's link. And so this is the PayPal link.
Okay, well, if I use the QR code that is Venmo, is that like PayPal?
Yes.
Yeah, Venmo is just like PayPal. Venmo doesn't take a cut, though.
Yeah, Venmo just sends it to you
Venmo
directly.
just sends the cash directly.
So Venmo is really great because it literally my phone will go cha-ching if someone sends something.
Yeah.
And that works. Oh, so they went wrong.
Yeah, Lord Freezer says Zelle doesn't cost anything. That's true. Zelle
Zelle is really picky. You can send up to some people like $7,500 on Zelle.
Yeah.
If you
there are certain limitations.
But it's bank to bank. Mm-hmm. So it's peer to peer, which is one bank to another bank.
You just have to have the person's phone number, I think.
So if you have the person's phone number or you have the account name, Mr. Badley TV, I was a big fan of your Bay Area shows for years. Back even if I
held a negative view towards your politics.
Oh, well, I don't actually do politics, but okay. But thank you, I appreciate it. So yeah, Zelle, you need a debit card or a bank account. So if you look up Cash App, I think it's Mr. Badley TV. Zelle.
This comment right here.
Which one? All right, you're aging and your lady is getting younger. Yes, she is.
That's not true.
She is getting younger. She hates it when people say she's getting younger.
Well, I hate it when we go somewhere and they're like, can I help you, sir? And then they don't. Well, actually, I really don't like it when people call me ma'am, but usually people will be like, "Can I help you, young lady?" Mm-hmm. So I guess I'll take it because I actually really don't like ma'am.
Well, I don't know
Hi, Selena.
So we're all about just chatting and having fun here, guys. Every Sunday we do this. We don't do politics. We don't talk about, this or that. We talk about this or that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Young enough to be called his daughter, Lord Frieza says. Oh, Lord Frieza, you just love to just bring that up, don't you?
Yeah. Went too far this way. Anyway, there you go. So Cash App, I have to look it up. Because everything is done via phone.
So William says, what is one of your favorite encounters on PBB?
My favorite encounters, I mean, anytime I deal with people in public, it's always fun. I like the people that are polite and nice, some that know and take it some people take it very uh, lightly that they were caught. Some people take it they accept it.
Mm-hmm.
They go, I got caught behaving badly. And they say it. And they say it on camera. And they know it. And I feel good when they do that because it makes me feel good that they understand that they got caught. They know they got caught and they're not going to make a big deal out of it.
Yeah. And like hopefully they learn a lesson.
Yeah.
Gabrielle says, Diane, people have said Stanley is your dad. I have read those comments here on Facebook. Yep. And in actuality, he's not my dad. And what are the other things that you say? And you always say that, in fact, I'm older than you.
Yeah, I know. I always say she's older than me, so.
How many people actually believe that? I have no idea.
So Cash App is $ Mr. Roberts TV, but I thought I had a business one too. I thought I did. That's what it looks like.
Okay, Phoebe.
I don't know.
No, you gotta put it a little bit closer. Are you trying to show the QR code?
I was trying to. Oh, yeah, I was trying to show it.
Exactly. The lesson is don't get caught.
Yeah. I turned the light down so. Ah.
You having some technical difficulties over there?
Because I'm booming it out right now.
Booming it out? I thought I was the boomer.
You are, but all right, let's try it this way. If you can see that, never mind.
I think the screen starts to get like super
the
light.
light, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there we go. I don't know what I'm doing.
Paul, God Bless America says put all of these links in one place spot website. You can add
They
them
are
to
they're
your
on my link tree.
Yeah, they're on his link tree. It's linktree.com.
Linktree.com /
Mr. Badley TV.
Mr. Badley TV. Yeah. Let me double check.
No, I'll double check.
Oh, wait.
I type faster.
Yeah, so my link tree, and I have it here already, I think, in my captions. I have a bunch of links that are already set up.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, I don't have it anymore.
And
Anyway.
I can't put the link right.
No, I can. Let me try it. What is it? Linktree what?
Linktree.com.
Nothing's working for me today.
This
Where's
was
my mouse?
this was you last week too.
My mouse is over there.
This was you last week too.
I know. I'm a failure.
Oh gosh, you're being dramatic. Dramatic much? You're being almost as dramatic as you were when you ate my sardines and egg combo.
That is so gross.
It was not gross, guys. He just has a different taste, different palate. It's not gross. What is gross that you
What
like
was
that
it?
I don't like?
Mr. Badley TV?
Yeah, Mr. Badley, linktree.com / Mr. Badley TV.
All right, let's see what happens here. Okay, I added this. And where'd it go? I added
Oh, did our stream crash?
it. No. Why?
Oh, cause my thing.
No, it's just a chat reminder.
Oh.
Oh, there we go. So, there we go. Oh, look at that. It's scroller.
Oh, Gabriel says at least this time the stream didn't crash and need to be restarted. Yeah, that happened to us last week.
Yep, remember that.
I like sardines, Anon. I like sardines.
That's new. A ticker.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Yeah, I like it. Linktree, Mr. Bed. Does that work? I don't know. Can you click that?
No.
Well, what did it
It's
do?
just scrolls.
Oh, okay. Interesting. How do you click it, though? Well, I don't want you to leave the page. Interesting. I learned something new today.
Ooh, linguine and sardines. That sounds good.
All right. We're at the point where we need to start to wrap this puppy up.
Yeah, it's been a little bit over an hour. Last time, remember, we went a little longer because our feed messed up.
We did more than almost 2 hours last time.
I think we only do close to 2 hours. Not,
Close to 2
not
hours.
more
I
than
said-
2 hours.
I said almost 2 hours.
You said
Almost.
almost more than 2 hours. Like this week. Not a fan of sardines myself.
Breaking
Okay.
news, Linktree. Look, I know. Now we have a breaking news. I love it. Do you rumble or Rockfin, Mr. Roberts? I do have a rumble, but I don't get a lot of traction on it right now. So it's Mr. Badley TV on Rumble. Everything, if you want to find what we do, look up Mr. Badley TV and something will pop up somewhere. So, there you go. We do appreciate, last week was 95 minutes in total.
That's a minute 35.
A minute 35?
An hour 35 minutes.
It's okay. It's okay.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
All right, guys. So, we do appreciate you guys taking time to spend, because you could be anywhere else in the world. And
But
you could
you
be watching
always...
60 Minutes
Or
2020
Dateline.
and you're
I don't think
watching
2020 is on right now. Or you could be watching... I'll follow you in Friendster. My gosh, I have not opened up my Friendster in so long, I don't even know if it exists.
I exist. Therefore, I am.
Did you have a Friendster?
No.
Oh, okay.
I had Tom.
MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I had a MySpace too.
Tom was my only friend.
I had a MySpace. Remember I hit you up on We Ate There?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I remember that clearly. Trying to forget it.
You're trying to forget it?
That's a joke, babe. Look at that face.
I know, because I'm getting defensive.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay.
All right, guys. We
All
love
right.
you guys. We appreciate it. Hey, everybody. Thank you for hanging out. Man, those were the days. Yeah, MySpace was the days.
And I would...
Oh,
I
wait,
loved it.
I was on Black Planet, though.
I was on Black Planet too.
Okay.
I was on Asian Avenue and Mi Gente.
Paste QR code on the description area along with my... wait.
Paste QR code on description area along with pay links.
All right, well, okay.
How do you paste the QR code? Do you know how?
We had one here.
This is testing his true millennialness right now
we go.
because
There you go. QR code.
because he's a millennial.
Oh, someone just scanned the QR code. Just like that. Bam! Saw it.
Oh yeah, God bless America, Napster. Oh, remember Lapster, LimeWire. What else was there? Oh, so David says I cannot find anything on my end, but the dollars went out to you guys from my account.
God bless America.
Okay, so David, we will we'll let you know once we get something when it comes in on our end.
Yeah, we're gonna keep watching it. We're watching it too because trust me, this just to run this app right this moment that we're talking to you costs $400 a year. So we may not buy an In-N-Out burger, but it'll keep us chit-chat in the way. Don't be going nostalgic on here. Yeah, I know. They're getting too nostalgic now.
Getting too nostalgic.
I remember. Do you remember the app where you rub two rocks together and then you could log on?
That's not an app.
Oh, it was.
You mean AOL?
No, it was yeah.
Dial up. I remember getting those Net Zero. Was it Net Zero? The CD-ROMs, like so that you can get free, your free trial or whatever of internet. Yeah.
Yes, Gabriel. It's $490 a year to use this app we're using right now.
Yep, AOL.
Hey, Ryan X, thank you for being a big fan. Thank you for joining.
Do you guys remember this?
Remember to subscribe because we're here for you. We're here and whatever else we are.
Do you guys remember this?
You must remember this. A kiss is still a kiss.
What?
I was just asking you to remember this.
No, because I said, do you guys remember ASL, question mark, when you would like be in a chat and you'd be like ASL? Do you know what ASL stands for?
All stand around?
No, age, sex, location.
So it shows me, so on Venmo it's Mr. Badley TV and or Stanley Roberts, Stanley _ Roberts 81. And it shows me where we are. What's so funny?
Oh my gosh. The internet interruptions when someone picked up the phone on a dial-up.
Remember when your phone would be busy because you were online?
My phone was, yeah, and we didn't have another phone. We just had, we used our one line for the internet. So if I was using the internet, no one could get through.
I know. Hold on. I'm going to show you a little trick.
Oh, I remember Earthlink.
I'm going to show you a little trick. Hold on. Stay with me.
Oh, you're going to use... Oh, that's scary, Beeb.
What?
You switched it up to you.
Yes.
You only.
Of course. There we go.
Okay, Beeb, you're really booming it out right now. Let me help you. You are booming it out so badly.
No, it's
You
just
gotta wait, let it sit. There you go.
All right, there you go.
Do you guys see that? I'm sorry for Stanley's booming it out, so I'm here to millennial him. You guys got that? I'm holding it long enough.
Totally out of the blue, but I grew up watching your segments on Chronicles 4. Your segments got me interested in law enforcement, and I'm a deputy in Marin County. I wish you all the best.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Okay, let's get back on
Okay,
the
get
regular
back
camera.
back where we were before, so because she was like, I need my airtime.
Did you guys miss seeing me for the 1 minute?
Thank you. Hey, maybe one day we'll meet up, Ryan. I'm still in the Bay Area now. I'm back here. I can see Marin from my window, literally.
You
But-
can see Marin from
Yes.
your window?
Yes, Marin
Oh.
County. Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. You have to point it out to me
I'll
later.
show it to you.
Okay.
Yes. So congratulations. Gabriel, do you ever tell me Gabrielle, do you ever tell me where you're from, or did I miss it? Because you mentioned, I asked you where you're from.
Stanley's floppy distance. I just
Oh,
can't-
also thinking about having a meetup type barbecue one in the summertime, maybe. It'll be on the peninsula somewhere because I'm not trying to go to San Francisco. So,
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
you know, we'll figure out a way we can do it. We'll rent some stuff. Everybody bring your own food. We'll bring meats and you know, I'm not bringing any alcohol.
We'll bring some grass-fed beef.
The beef will be actually fed grass while we're sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, Beef. Do you remember when
Oh,
you?
that's right. She's in Glendale, Arizona. I remember that now. Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh, Glendale. Okay.
I actually asked Diane if we could, at some point when we can get this thing up and running, we could buy a house in Arizona and go there in the wintertime.
And I said,
She said, if only we can go to Harumi Sushi.
only if we can go to Harumi Sushi, Rehab Burger Therapy in Scottsdale, and what's the other place that we like?
All the places.
All the places. Oh wow, yeah, Betty Veronica. Have you been to Hip Hop
I know
Barbecue
the
yet?
bases. I go there and look at, because I'm a big, you know, I fanboy out on fighter jets. That is my thing, fighter jets. You know, I want to take one and disassemble it so I can put it back together again. Literally take it apart and reassemble it, because that is my thing. I like, you know, the thrust from the jets, the maneuverability, the ability to, you know, and my favorite are two favorite. You know what they are?
No, I don't.
The A10 Warthog, and the Harrier jump jet. But I do like the Hornet F-18s. Cause they're
Funny.
good.
I was thinking to myself, F-18.
Yes, that jet will end up in his garage all disassembled. Yep, it will be, but it'll be mine, and I'll put it back together again one way or another. I'll be like, I'm gonna put it back together again. We're gonna fly this bad puppy.
Don't fly this bad puppy.
We're gonna fly it. Yeah, I remember I almost missed an opportunity to fly in a jet. Sad moment.
You might still get an opportunity.
I'm too big now. You got to be a certain weight.
What's the weight have to be?
I don't know. It ain't me.
Do you want me to fly it for you?
I ain't want to die.
Am I the weight?
Yeah, you're the perfect weight.
Okay.
Can you put a GoPro on you? But if you throw up, you disqualified.
Well, can I throw in then?
Yes, the Warthog. That's the one that made us learn while in basic training. I love the Warthog. As a matter of fact, we went to the Air Force Base in
Oh, when we went
Tucson.
to Tucson, yeah,
and
yeah.
I got to be right next to one. I was like, oh my God, I love this plane.
That's when we took
I wanted to give it a big old plane hug, but they wouldn't let me. They put this rope around it and they said, get away from me.
Because that plane is huge.
It's huge.
Isn't that when we took a picture and you made me have a cone head?
Yes. If you look, I posted a picture of her. No, but that's not the same plane. That's the C-17.
But that was the same
Yeah.
event, right? Okay.
You can tell the difference between the Warthog and everything else because it has a whine to it. I love the Warthog. That jet would be jamming Stanley into the sardine. Yeah, it would be. That jet would, yeah, you're exactly right.
How do I still play with paper dolls? Huh? I'm confused. That jet would be jamming Stanley. Oh, okay. What do you think about the... Dang, that was like a drastic turn of questions.
And that's like, oh, while we're already playing with dolls, what do you think about the whole situation in San Jose? I will say it. I said it once and I'll say it again. And whenever I did my stories about the homeless, it wasn't about the homeless. It was about the amount of garbage that was left behind by the homeless, and that how it was really bad for the environment. Case in point, the river, Guadalupe River, how there were car batteries that were in the water, that they were stealing car batteries from cars and dumping them in the river when they were done. And some guy walked through that river and ended up with flushing disease.
Ooh,
And I
gosh.
told the city that if you don't clean up this mess, it's going to get really bad. They never cleaned it up, and it got really bad. I think this was a preventable tragedy that, but now I'll say it, as I said before, and I'll say it again, it's a money-making venture for people who allow these people to be that way. As long as they are that way, they will make money because they do it off the bleeding hearts of the people that are bleeding, the bleeding heart people that want to help. So they give their money, they give their money, and they give their money to these people. It's like when a group calls you and says, hey, we want to help the homeless. Can you donate some money? And they go, well, if this will help, that's all I have. But they don't care because they're driving around their brand new BMWs, they got their brand new homes, they got these great office places, and they rarely ever get out there and be boots on the ground and look at what's going on. They have people who don't really care. As long as they get the paycheck. Imagine if you could cure cancer, then why would you can't make money curing cancer.
Well, that's always how I always say about patients, basically like the hospitals won't be making money if they don't have patients, right? So if we learned how to heal ourselves, if we try to take preventative measures so that we don't get sick, we wouldn't be patients for hospitals anymore.
Now, when I say I don't talk about politics, let me clarify why I mean I don't do politics. I don't do slamming another agency. Another political platform.
Yeah. Well, I don't think talking about.
No, let me.
Okay.
Finish.
Okay.
So some people think that they're quick to slam a different organization, a bit different group. Oh, it's always the Democrats. It wouldn't be this way if it wasn't for the Democrats. And then the Democrats like, well, it wouldn't be this way if it wasn't for the Republicans. And you're like, you're never going to meet a central if you're fighting each other and saying that it's your fault. No, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. It's everybody's fault. It's everybody's fault. And some people are looking at me going, well, you must be a Republican, or you must be a Democrat, or you must be this. I'm like, it's none of your business what I am. The point is, if you want to get something done, then you need to come together as a consensus. As long as you're fighting saying it's your fault and it's your fault, it's like that meme where you got Spider-Man pointing at each Spider-Man, saying it's your fault. That's what we do right now. We're basically, we're blaming each other. So that's like if I've had a heart attack. And you get 3 doctors over me go, well, that's your job. No, that's your job. No, that's your job.
And then
I'm laying there with a heart attack and nobody wants to fix the heart attack. He goes, what do we do? Well, let's get money so we can figure it out. That's basically what we have here. Our society's in the middle of a heart attack and everybody's pointing a finger at who should be fixing the heart attack.
Well, I also think that people just tend to make everything political, so therefore there are these fights and then nothing gets done.
Right. You can't get things done if you're fighting over political platforms.
But that's what the problem
is.
But that's what politics. Things become political.
And I don't do politics. And I've made such a reputation by that one guy wrote one day, I actually wrote something that wasn't even political. It was an observation. He goes, I come to your platform because you don't do politics. And now all of a sudden you started talking about politics. I'm like, okay, you can't preclude me from mentioning things that I see. You can't hold me back and say, you can't say this because now it's politics.
Well, there's a difference.
There's a difference.
There's a difference between seeing something and saying how it is and choosing a side for something or trying to represent a side for something.
Right.
You're saying basically how it is and stating fact. And that's different from being like, oh, well, I take this position because of this. I take this position
because of that. If we would stop fighting over who's wrong and just fix it, you know how much shit would be fixed? Excuse me?
Oh.
I'm sorry.
She getting worked up, y'all.
I'm getting warm up in here. Go get me up on my platform. If we would stop fighting over who did it wrong and just come together, we would not have this problem that we have right now. But, that being said, that throws the news media under the bus because the news media determined and figured out somewhere down the line that divisiveness sells. And so news platforms, and you know who they are, even some that were created, they were created just for for
diversion.
Division.
Oh, division, yeah.
They were created for division. For that reason only, because they know that they can make money off of divisiveness.
Hey, isn't that what we always talk about? That the thing that drives a lot of why we see things the way they are, or because of
It's all about money.
It's all about money.
Everything comes
So about the
back to money.
Benjamins.
How much money can you donate?
Yeah.
How much money can I get from you? Well, if you're going to give me 30 million viewers to watch our news because we're saying something that you want to hear, which, by the way, is opinion. And opinion is not fact. It's someone's ideology of what they think. But we have gone to the cascades of forgetting about someone's ideology and assuming that if they said that, then it must be true. But what if I just started saying, just started throwing out I couldn't pull that off. Because my reputation is to talk about the facts and the truth. And I believe the truth will set you free. The problem we have in this world we have right now is that we're all fighting over who's at fault. It's your fault, it's your fault. While the guy is having a heart attack and no one's here to save the world.
And then at that point, if no one does anything, the guy just
If no one,
slowly.
Thank you, Bradley.
Thank you, Bradley.
That says with a frowning face.
Why a frowning face?
So, anyway, yeah, yellow journalism, yes. And it's funny because you call it yellow journalism, but people called my segments yellow journalism because, and just for the record, I have been called every name in the book. Names I can't even repeat on here because they will deplatform me. And they send it to me in Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. They blow up my feeds. That's why I changed it. Like, if you're going to comment on my Instagram, you have to follow me. You can't just comment. Because what people do is they write really random, crazy stuff. And then they make it so that I can't respond back. That's why now what I always do, I make a receipt. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, you want to play games, you want to play stupid games and, mess around and find out? I have another way for it, but you know my phrase.
Yeah, I know your phrase.
Anyway.
All right, well, Radar said earlier, I thought you guys were signing off, so
We were, but
we're about to sign off now.
Woo!
All right, guys, so what's next week? We here next week?
Hold on. Well, you just like to make things harder on working class people, and we are screwed as a country. Both sides would rather the country burn before they work together.
Ooh, where do you see that? Man, we getting deep.
I know.
Thanks, God bless America. But you guys, what's up with the frowny faces, though? Man, what's up with
They're all frowning. Well, anyway, we thank you guys. We apologize for me getting on a rant, but you triggered me again.
Yeah, y'all triggered him.
Get me started.
He cursed.
I know. Woo! Boom, shakalaka.
I knew you were going to say that. Boom, shakalaka.
Good night, everybody. And thank you and everyone else. We appreciate it. And I know we've already did another hour. And we start making our things 90 minutes now.
I know.
'Cause that's our new thing now.
Now, will you watch 90 minutes of us versus 60 minutes?
Hey, now. Get your name out.
Okay, you're doing boomer things again.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. Well, I'm a boomer.
I'm a millennial.
I think you are.
Yeah, whatever. And we love you guys.
We love you guys. Take care.
And remember, you are what you eat.
You are what you absorb.
Whatever.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Millennial Boom with Diane Faith and Stanley Roberts. Millennial Boom and Reasons Why Aliens Will Never Invade Earth and Caught Misbehaving videos are made possible through viewer donations. Check out www.linktree.com/MrBadleyTV to see how you can help. See you next week.